No one tells you how loud silence becomes when you grow old and everyone is gone. It is not the peaceful silence people imagine. It is heavy. It presses against your chest. It fills every corner of the room and every corner of your mind. When you are young, you think loneliness means having no friends, no messages, no plans. But real loneliness comes later. It arrives quietly, when your phone stops ringing, when your name is no longer called, when days pass without a single voice asking how you are. You do not miss crowds. You do not miss noise. You do not miss attention. You miss one familiar voice. Just one. Someone who knows your past, your mistakes, your dreams, your fears. Someone who remembers who you were before life made you tired. At night, memories become louder than any sound. Faces appear, voices echo, moments replay. You remember laughter in small rooms, conversations that lasted until morning, hands that once held yours without hesitation, and then you open your eyes, and the room is empty again. Time moves differently when you are alone. Minutes stretch into hours, hours dissolve into days, days disappear into years, and slowly you begin to realize that the world did not abandon you all at once. It left in small, quiet steps. One goodbye, one unanswered call, one visit postponed, one promise delayed, until one day you are sitting in silence wondering when exactly you became invisible. Growing old is not about losing strength. It is about losing connection. It is about carrying a lifetime of stories inside you, with no one left to tell them to. And that is when silence becomes the loudest thing you have ever heard. When you are young, you believe loneliness means having no friends, no plans, no one to text on a Friday night. You think it is temporary, something that will disappear as soon as life becomes busy again. You assume connection will always be easy, always available, always waiting for you. But real loneliness arrives much later. It comes when your life is full of memories, but empty of people. It comes when your phone stays silent, not for hours, not for days, but for weeks. No missed calls, no messages, no familiar names lighting up the screen. Just a device that feels heavier each time you pick it up, hoping something has changed. You begin to measure time differently. You count it in unanswered calls, unopened conversations, and empty chairs. Days pass slowly. Weeks stretch endlessly. Seasons change without you noticing. And in that stillness, you start having conversations with your own thoughts, replaying moments that once felt ordinary but now feel priceless. You remember birthdays that filled the house with laughter, late-night talks that solved nothing but made everything feel lighter, and simple greetings that once meant nothing, yet now mean everything. You realize that those small moments were never small at all. They were life itself. The hardest truth is not being alone. The hardest truth is understanding how easily connection disappears, how quickly people drift, how silently distance grows, how suddenly presence turns into memory. And one day, you recognize a quiet fear rising inside you. Not the fear of death, but the fear of being forgotten. The fear that your stories, your struggles, your victories will fade without ever being heard. Because when you grow old, loneliness is no longer about empty rooms. It is about a full heart with no one left to share it with. We were always busy, always rushing, always chasing something just out of reach. We chased success as if it could finally make us feel complete. We chased money as if it could buy us time. We chased approval, hoping it would silence our doubts. And in that endless race, we slowly stopped noticing the people walking beside us. We kept promising ourselves that we would slow down someday. We said we would call later, We said we would visit soon. We said we would make time when life became easier. But life never became easier. It only became faster. Days blurred into weeks. Weeks disappeared into years, and soon quietly turned into never. We missed birthdays. We postponed conversations. We delayed visits. We replaced presents with excuses and love with convenience. We believed there would always be another chance, another moment, another tomorrow. We treated time like it was unlimited, as if it owed us more. But time does not wait. It does not warn. It does not remind. It simply moves forward, carrying moments away with it. And one day, you look back and realize how many goodbyes you never said, how many hugs you postponed, how many words you left unspoken. The cruelest part is understanding that no one took those moments from you. You gave them away, piece by piece, in exchange for things that no longer matter. You traded connection for comfort, depth for distraction, love for ambition. Now the rooms are quieter, the chairs are emptier, the voices are memories, and you finally understand the cost of living too fast. Because one day, time makes the decision for you, not to slow down, not to wait, but to remind you that some moments, once gone, never return, and that regret stays longer than anything you ever chased. Mornings no longer arrive with excitement. They arrive quietly, gently, almost carefully, as if they are afraid to disturb the silence that fills the room. There is no rush, no purpose, no reason to move quickly. Just slow steps, tired hands, and another day waiting to be endured. Evenings feel heavier. Shadows stretch across the walls, and the stillness grows deeper. The hours drag, filled with nothing but the soft ticking of a clock and the sound of distant life happening somewhere else. The world continues moving, but it no longer seems to notice you. So you sit near the window, not to watch the world, but to feel like you are still part of it. You watch strangers walk by, cars pass, children laugh, couples argue, and life unfold in front of you, knowing none of it belongs to you anymore. For a moment, the glass becomes the only thing separating you from a world that once felt like home. Inside, everything feels forgotten. The walls hold memories, but no voices. The furniture remembers touch, but no warmth. Every object tells a story, yet there is no one left to listen. You begin to realize that being surrounded by things is not the same as being surrounded by people. Silence settles into your bones. Stillness becomes your closest companion. And slowly, abandonment stops feeling like an event and starts feeling like a permanent state. You wait, not for someone to arrive, but for something to change. You wait for footsteps that never come. You wait for a knock that never happens. You wait for a voice that no longer knows your name. And in that waiting, you understand a painful truth. Growing old is not about losing energy or strength. It is about watching the world move on without you. Until one day, even the window no longer feels close enough. The hardest part is not being alone. Solitude can be learned. Silence can be endured. Empty rooms can become familiar. What breaks you is something far heavier. The hardest part is knowing that you once had everything you needed to never be alone. You once had people who waited for your calls, who missed your presence, who needed your voice. You once had relationships that felt permanent, bonds that seemed unbreakable, moments that felt endless. You believed they would always be there. You believed time would protect them. You believed nothing could take them away. But slowly, without noticing, you began to loosen your grip. You replaced conversations with convenience. You replaced presence with distraction. You replaced connection with ambition. You assumed that love could survive distance, that memories could replace effort, that later would always arrive. And then one day, you realized that later had already passed. The chairs are empty. The rooms are quiet. The voices exist only in your mind. The laughter lives only in echoes. And suddenly, the weight of that realization becomes unbearable. You understand that no storm destroyed your life. No tragedy shattered your world. No sudden event took everything away. It slipped through your fingers in ordinary moments, in postponed visits, in delayed calls, in forgotten promises, in days you thought did not matter. That is the shock. That is the pain. That is the regret. Not that life was cruel, but that you were careless with what mattered most. And now you carry a truth that cannot be undone. You had everything you needed to never be alone, and you let it slip away. Call your parents while their voice can still answer. Sit with your grandparents while their stories can still be told. Visit the people who once protected you, guided you, and believed in you long before the world did. Do not wait for a special occasion. Do not wait for free time. Do not wait for the perfect moment. Love does not need perfect timing. It only needs presence. One day, you will search for their voice in old recordings. You will scroll through old messages. You will stare at old photographs, trying to remember the sound of their laughter, the warmth of their embrace, the comfort of their presence. And in that moment, you will realize how priceless ordinary days truly were. Right now, they are still here. They are still waiting, still hoping, still smiling when they see your name on their screen, still proud of you, even when they do not say it, still carrying love that asks for nothing in return. Yet life keeps pulling you forward. Responsibilities grow heavier. Ambitions become louder. Distractions become endless. And slowly, visits become rare. Conversations become short. Silence becomes familiar. Do not let love become a memory. Sit beside them, even when you have nothing important to say. Listen even when you have heard the stories before. Hold their hands, even when time feels short. These small moments will one day become the most valuable parts of your life, because there will come a day when you would give anything for one more conversation, one more smile, one more ordinary afternoon. And when that day arrives, no amount of success, money, or achievement will replace what you lost. So choose connection now. Choose presence now. Choose love while you still can. One day, your house will be quiet. Not peaceful, not calm, but empty. The kind of quiet that makes every sound feel too loud and every moment feel too long. No footsteps in the hallway, no laughter from another room, no arguments that once felt exhausting but now feel precious in memory. Just ticking clocks and slow breathing. The walls will no longer echo with voices. The rooms will no longer carry warmth. The chairs will stay where they are, untouched, as if waiting for someone who will never return. And in that stillness, you will finally understand what silence truly means. It is not the absence of noise. It is the absence of presence. You will walk through familiar spaces, touching objects that once belonged to shared moments. A cup that held morning coffee. A jacket left hanging by the door. A photograph fading slowly with time. And each object will remind you that life once lived here, and now only memory remains. Night will stretch longer than day. Sleep will arrive slowly. And when it does, it will be filled with dreams of voices that no longer call your name. You will wake up reaching for people who exist only in your heart. That is when the fear settles in. Not the fear of being alone, but the fear of being forgotten, the fear that one day no one will remember your stories, your struggles, your love, your existence, and in that moment you will understand why silence is the loudest pain. Because silence does not simply surround you. It reminds you of everything you once had, and everything you lost. I am old now. My hands tremble, my steps are slow, and my reflection shows a face shaped by time. But age itself does not frighten me. Wrinkles do not scare me. Weakness does not terrify me. What truly scares me is something far deeper. I do not fear death. I fear dying without truly living. I fear leaving this world with words still trapped inside my chest. I fear carrying love that was never fully given. I fear holding regrets that time will never allow me to fix. I fear knowing that I had chances to love more, forgive faster, speak kinder, and live deeper. Yet I waited for a better moment that never came. Life did not ask me to be perfect. It only asked me to be present. But I was always distracted, always busy, always chasing tomorrow while ignoring today. And now, tomorrow has arrived, and today is gone. I learned too late that success means nothing in an empty room, that achievements feel hollow without someone to share them with, that memories lose their warmth when there is no one left to remember them with you. In the end, only love remains, not money, not status, not pride, only love. So if there is someone you care about, reach for them. If there is a conversation you have been delaying, have it. If there is forgiveness you have been withholding, release it. If there is love you have been hiding, show it. Because one day, all you will have are memories, and memories are not enough. Love while you still can.